Well, good morning, everybody. This is Paul Daemen, and here I am with a cup of coffee. And this is my second vlog. And Martine asked me a question yesterday from our first vlog, so that I'm going to try to answer it. What are the steps at looking to retire in Nicaragua but never visit it? For instance, how long should your first visit be? 1 or 2 weeks? How many locations should you scout before deciding on where you would like to live? Should you rent a car or use public-private transportation? So let's go over it. Again, the first thing I would ask is, what are you planning to do? Meaning, yes, I hear you're going to retire, but what type of lifestyle are you looking for when you retire? Do you want to be on a farm like we are? Do you want to go beach because you like to surf? Or do you like culture? You want to go visit, let's say, Granada because there's a lot of cultural activities or things to do. Do you want to be in a large town so you can go have coffee with friends, make new friends, those type of things? Do you want to also be involved with NGOs and help out kids, families, you name it, okay? And the other thing I would ask is, what type of background do you have? So maybe your background says, hey, based on my background, or I grew up on a farm, or I grew up in a city, or I grew up here. Those are type of elements I would ask you before I go saying, this is what you could do. So I'm asking you a lot of questions first, and now let's answer that. So what I would do, if you're coming here for the first time, I would visit, but don't go. Like I see that often when people go overseas to Europe, etc., they go on a 7-day trip and they want to see 10 countries. That's not visiting. That's just, touching. That's not even getting to know. So I would say, come here, and if you only have 2 weeks, come here for 2 weeks and maybe go really spend 2 weeks in 2 places. I would not even try 3, but come in. Go to, let's say, you want to go a big city life, then go to Granada, go to Leon. Do you want cooler weather? Go to Esteli, go to Matagalpa. So you really first need to answer those questions to yourself. What is it that you want to do on a day-to-day basis? What type of activities? And how do you want to travel in between to do those activities? Sorry, I had to think where to go with that. So I would say at least 2 cities, but don't decide anything based on those 2 cities. So at least you will know, hey, I like Nicaragua. I do want to spend some more time. We did, I think, around 15 trips here to Nicaragua, but we already had decided, but we hadn't decided where to live. So for us, it was a little bit easier, even though we did 15 more trips before we decided where. And we did mainly weekly trips. So every person is a little bit different. But for us, it was more about finding that perfect home. And that took time. I wanted to live in the city, just like I wanted to live on the farm. We're not farm people. So I had to adjust my mind a little bit and see a few farms before I said, okay, I'm willing to consider that, okay? So that was one of the steps that we had to take. And after we bought the farm, we did a few more trips just to find out some other things we wanted to do for that farm or with that farm, okay? So that is about how many times you should visit, okay? I would say at the minimum, if you're going to live, retire, rent, or buy, I would say at least at the bare bones minimum, do 3 or 4 trips, okay? But each person is different. You might come and you say, I love it here. I found the perfect place. I'm going to stop. This is where I'm going to retire, okay? Before that, we did a total of 3 trips before we selected Granada to be where we wanted to retire. But again, every person is different. So you might say, I don't like it there. I need a few more activities to have around me. Okay, so that's one. The other one is how many locations. You already talked about that. Should you rent a car or use public-private transport? That's a good question, but it comes down to this. Do you need a car after you retire? If you don't need a car, get used to it now, in the sense, if you're going to scout with public transportation. But if you're going to retire and you want a car because you want to, let's say that you're going to say, you know, Paul, I want to live in Granada, but I want to go to the beach once a week. Okay. And because of me wanting to go to the beach, I want to scout out as many beaches as I can. Yeah, maybe then you should get a car. But if you're saying, you know, I'm going to stay put, then it is different. We have one person that basically ended up buying a motorcycle. And all she does when she wants to go to a different place, she uses her motorcycle. And it was a low-cost investment for her. It was less than $1,000. And she drives with her motorcycle to every place she wants to go. Then we have a gentleman that does exactly the same thing. He came to Nicaragua, had bought the home online, and then when he came, he bought a motorcycle, and he goes everywhere. Last week, he went on a motorcycle from Catarina to, he went to Leon, he went then to Esteli and back. Previous week, he went to Omotepe. So he rides his motorcycle all over the place. He rides more miles than I do, and he loves it. So it comes down to lifestyle. What do you want to do on a daily basis? The different activities. I would write a long list or a short list. It might be only 2 things you want to do, and then start checking them off. When you get close to saying, hey, I found the perfect one by looking at my list, then I would say you found the place to retire and be involved in the lifestyle that you want to accomplish. Okay? Hope I answered the question. I had to think a little bit. Didn't have enough coffee. You know, coffee gets the brain going in the morning. So I hope this helps you. And, you know, to retire is not that difficult to do. Here, it's just the steps to find out, are you going to be happy during retirement? Because you don't want to have to pull up stakes and then say, you know, I don't like it. Here, this location I found, I want to go elsewhere. So the best thing to do is spend some time. And if you're just going to rent, then go, you know, explore. That's one thing that I noticed. A lot of people just don't explore. They become comfortable and don't want to explore Nicaragua. There's a lot of places to go to. And that's what we're starting to do more and more, just Len and I, exploring and see what this country has to offer, which is amazing, the amount of things that it has to offer, okay? Both in cuisine, the people, the countryside, the hills, Matagalpa, the cold, for me cold, the warm sides, the ocean, country, you name it. So there's many, many things to see. So my biggest recommendation would be, if you find the perfect home or location, then after you settle in, go visit, go look, enjoy. Okay? Thanks. Hope you enjoyed it.